Good morning, Jason. I need coffee. Coffee. One of the joys of working a nighttime schedule. 2 in the afternoon is considered getting up early. Normally I've been getting up around 4 or 5, mere minutes before I have to go to work. So while the coffee is coming, I thought I would just give you a brief update, tell you about my day. Oh, excuse me. Gotta love morning farts, eh? Nothing like morning farts. Farts! Okay. I'm a little weird and out of it for my morning coffee. I'm sure you can relate. So yesterday, we got in Extreme Ops. There, that's a little better. Now it's kind of funny because I actually wasn't even supposed to work yesterday originally, but one of the girls at work didn't want her Tuesday shift in the food section, the concession section, and asked if I wanted it. And I said, sure, I can always use more hours. So I took the shift. Now, also yesterday we got Extreme Ops. Extreme Ops opens today being Wednesday. And because I'm the only non-manager there who actually has hands-on experience building films when they come in, I found out that apparently Ben hasn't actually been trained on how to build a film when it comes in. So he's done breakdown a number of times, but he's never actually built a film. And I have. I've done a few. I did one of the Harry Potter prints, like all 9 reels of it. I put that together. And I did one of the Bond. I did one of the Bond prints, James Bond, Die Another Day, which I'll say again is an awesome movie. You got to check it out. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've long since checked it out by the time this video letter gets to you. But great stuff. I really want to see it. And I wanted to mention something about that actually. Did you know that here in Canada, the version of Die Another Day that we got is actually a censored version? It says right on the leader, actually, when I was building it, I noticed it said alternate Canadian cut. And apparently, for Canadian release, they cut about 13 minutes out of the movie. So it's actually supposed to run 2 hours and 35 minutes. It currently runs 2 hours and 22 minutes. My understanding is this one had more in the way of, I guess, nudity and more gruesome violence. And so they made a bunch of cuts for the Canadian release so they could get a 14A rating, because otherwise I guess it would have been 18A, and they didn't want that rating for a Bond movie, so they cut a bunch of stuff out to get the 14A rating. Crazy, eh? So apparently they're really pushing the envelope with this one, far more than we've seen here in Canada. So needless to say, I consider that a must-get DVD release when it comes out, because I want to see what I'm missing. But hey, at least we get to see it on the big screen, right? So that's pretty good. So anyway, Extreme Ops comes in yesterday, and I get I just log into my till at concession, and then Joseph, one of the managers, comes up and says, "Yeah, we need you up in the projection booth to assemble Extreme Ops. It's an emergency 911 build, because it opens tomorrow and we want to have a preview screening tonight." And they're, oh, okay, I'll just log out of my till and go up to the projection booth. I mean, I'd much rather be doing stuff up there, right? So I go up there and I build the trailer pack, which is basically just the ads and trailers before the movie. And it turned out one of our prints of Harry Potter, there was a problem with one of the foils. Specifically the one right before the end credits. The lights weren't coming on when they were supposed to. Like, the lights are supposed to come on when the end credits start. And so I finished building the trailer pack for Extreme Ops, and then I quickly went over to Cinema 5, where the Harry Potter problem was. The Harry Potter problem. Sounds like a spy movie, eh? And I wound it back to check the foil, and it turns out whoever had put the foil on for the ending credits had put it on the wrong side of the film. Like, it's supposed to be on the emulsion side, which is basically the actual printed side of the film. The other side is just plastic. So it was on the plastic side and not the emulsion side. So I just took the old one off and put a new one on, and now it works fine. And then by the time I got that done, it was time for my break. So I spun Harry Potter back on, made sure to take the tape off the end this time. Yes, I learn from my mistakes, especially when they cost the company money and such. So I went for my break, and then Ben had arrived for his shift. And then Ben was given the task of assembling the rest of Extreme Ops, and then I was basically a floater, doing a combination of food area and floor duties. And I hear my coffee's ready, so if you just hold on a second, I'm going to get my coffee. Coffee. Oh, yeah. I'm awake! Okay. Alright, so I'm going off. I'm basically a floater just to do general duties and whatever. And so I was concerned that Ben... Well, actually, okay. So Ben is told to assemble the rest of Extreme Ops. And then Joseph, goes up there, and I hear that he's assembling it, and all Ben's doing is running around threading the projectors for the next shows. And so I talked to Natalie, who's one of the other managers. Yes, we have a lot of managers there. And I told her, I said, is Joey or Ben assembling Extreme Ops? And she said, I think Joey's doing it and Ben's just sort of watching. And they're, oh, okay. And then I said, just so you know, Ben tells me that he's never actually been trained on how to build a film. So I was just concerned that he may not be getting proper hands-on experience up there, you know. And she said basically that Joey was just sort of making sure that he did it right or something. I kept getting conflicting information. And then unfortunately Ben fell horribly ill by the end of the evening, suspects food poisoning. I went up after I had finished most of my duties for the day, and he was laying on the couch in the staff lounge area. Apparently he'd thrown up and was horribly ill. And one of the other managers, Rob, yes, we have a lot of managers there, took him off to the hospital. So, unfortunately, I don't know where the hospital is, so I wasn't able to go and see him. But, yeah, so hopefully he's okay. I don't actually know yet. But, so back to the rest of yesterday. Okay, so I'm basically helping out in the concession area. And there's a guy named Chris, fairly new guy, he's only been there a few weeks, who's doing floor duties. Now, one of the things the floor guy has always done is help concession close up for the day. And one of the duties that they do, and this is what I do when I'm on floor, it's what Ben does when he's on floor, and it's all the other guys do when they're on floor, is do the dishes for concession. Now, concession has, it's not really dishes per se, it's basically a lot of the, you know, like the parts of the hot dog rack, and you get the margarine pumps and stuff like that. You have to disassemble them and clean them for the next day. And just various odds and sods, the popcorn scoops and things like that. If left unattended, there can be quite a pile of stuff to do at the end of the day. Usually what we'll do is we'll do pre-dishes, as they call it, and that'll do sort of, you know, the half-day batch of dishes, and then at the end of the night we'll do the rest of the dishes for the next day. So I was working. There was just me and one other girl, a girl by the name of Stephanie. So Stephanie and I were basically single-handedly closing up concession. Now I was cleaning the popper, which is no small task because you got to get the degreaser out, and you got to, it's just you got to clean all the nooks and crannies, and of course it's just covered in oil and grease by the end of the day. So it's no fun task, but it's something that needs to be done, right? So Stephanie and I are busting our asses trying to get concession clean, and the preview screening for Extreme Ops was scheduled for about 11:30, and I wanted to see it because I had helped to build that one, right? So, I mean, to be perfectly honest, the movie looks kind of cheesy, but I figured, hey, it's a free movie, B, it's something of a social event, get to hang out with some of my coworkers, and C, I helped to build it, so I wanted to see it, right? So it occurred to me that Chris had not come back to do the dishes yet. He had gone off to do a garbage run, which is, take the garbage out to the garbage room. And that's something that we usually do at the end of the day, okay? The last thing that we do, like one of the absolute last things we do. And he was doing it at like 11 o'clock. And, and meanwhile there's a literally overflowing heap of dishes and crap in the back. There's a pile of recycle in the back. The floor guy's supposed to take the recycle down as well as part of the garbage run. So I get on the radio and I say, Chris, you online? And he says, yeah. And I said, yeah, I was just wondering if you're going to come and do the dishes anytime soon. And he said, no. And then Joey comes online and says, yeah, actually, doing the dishes is not the floor guy's duty. That's been a misunderstanding for a long time. And it's like, I got back on the radio and I said, just for the record, that's not what I was told. It was always my understanding that the floor guy helps concession close. And he says, yeah, that's been a misunderstanding for a long time. Consider this, my informing of you. And it's like, what the fuck? Thanks a lot for just dropping that on us at the last, at the 0 hour. And so basically I was stuck in the back. I figured, I said, okay, well, Stephanie, why don't you finish up out here? I'll go back and do the fucking dishes. So, it wouldn't have bothered me so much if they had said something earlier in the day, so we could have done some dishes in advance and just sort of prepared for that. But the whole time I've worked there, it has been the floor guy's duty to do the dishes at concession. It's just one of the things that the floor guy does to help out concession. Because concession is a huge deal, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do there. And most of the time, it's too much for one or two people to do. So the floor guy, there's a lot of lulls in activity. So the floor person comes in and does the dishes to take the load off. So that's been the way it has always been since the day I started working there. I do it, Ben does it, all the other floor guys do it. And now suddenly Chris, this new guy, is let off the hook, just out of the blue, and then nobody bothers to tell us. Apparently Chris was told, but we weren't told, we at concession. So they just drop it on us at like, 11:15, So I'm doing the dishes, and then I hear over the radio that the preview screening has started. And like I told them, I said I'd really like to see it, and so they just basically said, fuck you, and started it without me, and so I was really pissed off about that. Eventually Joey came down and said, like, yeah, I realized I probably came across a bit gruff on the radio. Stephanie just chewed him right out. She was so pissed off. I mean, both of us were, just because they basically just dropped this bomb on us out of nowhere. Because there was no warning at all. It was just suddenly, oh, by the way, you're doing dishes from now on. It's like, thanks for telling us in advance. So anyway, I basically finished up the dishes, and then I was asked to close the floor because Chris's shift had ended earlier, so I was asked to finish doing the floor duties. So I went in the back and I basically did all the recycle. Another duty of the floor person is to sweep the back room behind concession and mop it. So I did that. And then there wasn't much garbage to go out by the end of the day. It's just there was just the recycle basically. So I took the recycle out, and that was that. And then I went up and they said, yeah, can you help close booth as well? So I go up to the projection booth and I thread the last. There's only one projector to go by that point, so I help close that. By this point, it's like 1:30. The previous screening is long since over, and that was that. But the good thing that came out of this, I mean, always look at the silver lining, is that yesterday was a day I wasn't even originally scheduled for. But because I took that food shift, which was only a 5-hour food shift, I got almost 8 hours, 8 additional hours on my paycheck. So, in the end, for all the pain in the ass of it, it all kind of worked out. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.